This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, one of the largest tropical rainstorms to hit the continental U.S. is still forcing thousands of people from their homes in Texas. Harvey dumping more than 50 inches of rain in and around Houston. While it has moved away from that area, its impact there will be felt for years to come. ABC's Maggie Rulli is joining us live in Houston with the latest developments on what's happening today. Maggie?
Harvey may have moved on, but the storm left behind more than 100 trillion gallons of water. And here in Houston, we're only beginning to see the damage. Harvey made its third and likely final landfall this morning, now forecast to dump more than 20 inches of rain in parts of Louisiana before moving northeast. Flash flood watches now in effect all the way to Tennessee and Florida. The storm drowning neighborhoods along the Gulf Coast. In Port Arthur, floodwaters rush into a shelter, rising to people sleeping in their cots.
You have older people, you have infant babies, kids walking in this water, and they have all kinds of insects, spiders and frog snakes in this water, and they move this up to the bleachers, but that's not helping. The water is rising up.
FEMA promising help.
That we are supporting the efforts to provide mass care, not only mass care, but also medical care.
Houston still underwater. Rescues continuing around the clock.
The helicopter had came over the house and they came and got us, and we came outside, and I wasn't able to bring anything. It was enough room for me to go in the basket and for all the kids to fit.
Neighbors springing into action.
Hi, buddy. Y'all hang tight.
Using everything from big rigs to boats and jet skis to answer those desperate calls for help. More than 13,000 people saved in Houston and the surrounding areas, but most are opening up their doors to their neighbors, bonding through devastation. Here in Houston, we've seen the community pull together. Furniture stores offering up sofas to sleep on, mattress stores offering up beds, even a taco truck driving into hard-hit neighborhoods handing out free food. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Houston, Texas. Back to you guys.
All right, Maggie, thank you so much. Here at home, aid is being offered to those who were impacted by heavy rains here on the Suncoast. Employees from the Manatee YMCA Nifty Thrift Shop visiting residents at Stony Brook condos yesterday to hand out vouchers for things like free clothing, furniture, and other items that they lost in the flooding. This is the first local disaster the shop has helped since opening earlier this month in Palmetto. Several units were also damaged at the Shady Brook Village complex as well. Those condos were also damaged by flooding from Tropical Storm Hermine last year. Let's get a check on our weather today. We are drying out, which is, of course, exactly what we needed here on the Suncoast, a break from all that rain.
Just phenomenal. Phenomenal. 22-inch plus rainfalls, just phenomenal. And yeah, it looks like we have a chance of seeing some more heavy rainfall this weekend, but probably not quite as heavy. And then down the road, we have the tropics to look at very carefully.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking all about that in just a second. Good to see you again.
You too. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
Missed you.
Back from your eclipse adventure.
Oh, yeah, what an amazing thing that was. I'll talk to you all about that. That was just phenomenal. Once in a lifetime thing. We have some clear skies out there, a lot of blue, a lot of sunshine, warm temperatures. And with all the sunshine, of course, like yesterday, we're heating up the land. We'll get to a warm temperature, and we're evaporating some of that standing water, leaving us with a pretty high dew point and kind of a muggy feel to the air today. Now, not much of a rain chance. I'll put it in about a 10%. That's about it. Mostly inland showers, and you know, if we get that, we're doing well. Honestly, there's so much dry air in place, be lucky to get 10% of our showers coverage. There's a line-ish cloud cover out in Gulf waters. That could become instrumental in our weekend forecast, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. New details this afternoon in the change of leadership at the Punta Gorda Police Department. The city releasing a statement this morning officially terminating Chief Tom Lewis from duty. Lewis had been on paid leave since February, pending the outcome of an internal affairs investigation into the death of Mary Knowlton. The 73-year-old was accidentally shot and killed by former Officer Lee Cole during a citizens demonstration last year. Cole was fired and is facing trial next year on manslaughter charges. Lewis was acquitted of culpable negligence charge earlier this year. Nearly 100 people turned out in Sarasota last night to learn more about climate change. Results of a recently completed climate change vulnerability assessment were presented at the Robert L. Taylor Community Complex in Sarasota. More than 200 city-owned assets were evaluated, including drinking water, wastewater, transportation, parks, and shorelines. They were all evaluated for problems they may encounter by the year 2050 because of sea level rise, extreme temperature change, rainfall, and storm surge.
This is critical. You know, the city of Sarasota is being proactive. We're trying to identify what infrastructure is vulnerable in our city and what choices we have to upgrade and be more resilient over time.
Next, the city of Sarasota will release a draft of the plan in October and then get more public input after that. A herd of cows that were surrounded by floodwaters in East Sarasota County have been removed from that flooded pasture. This was the scene last night near Palmer Boulevard and Iona Road. The cows were climbing onto higher ground to avoid the water. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office reports a DeSoto County rancher who owns those cows moved them to a drier location this morning. And new this afternoon, another successful turtle release for Mote Marine Lab. Mote staff releasing Patty the loggerhead turtle this morning at Lido Beach. Patty had been recovering at Mote Sea Turtle Rehabilitation Hospital after swallowing a fishing hook back in May. She was also covered in barnacles and algae and was very anemic. But after surgery and 2 months of good care, she was finally given the okay to be released back into the Gulf.
She was pretty fast. It only took a matter of a half an hour to get in and out and get her recovered. And she responded great. She didn't eat for a day or two after. I wouldn't either. I'm sure she was really sore. But then she started eating like a champ and has recovered well.
Turtle nesting season, by the way, ends October 31st. Mote says if you see a marine animal hooked on a line, do not cut the line. Instead, call Mote's 24-hour Stranding Investigations Response Program, or you can call Florida Fish and Wildlife Alert Hotline at 1-888-FWCC. Since opening, Mote's Rehab Center has treated and released more than 600 sea turtles. A new hotel, restaurants, condos, and shopping. That's what's ahead for Allegiant Airlines here on the Suncoast. The airline is planning to build one of its Sunseeker resorts in Charlotte County. The proposed 20-acre property will be located along Bayshore Road, just west of US 41 on the Peace River. It'll include 9 condominium towers, 10 upscale restaurants, an on-site grocery store, and a marina. Yes, it will be large. A free shuttle service between the resort and Punta Gorda Airport will also be available. Here in Florida, Allegiant has those Sunseeker resorts in Tampa, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville, and Destin in the Florida Panhandle. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how NASA is teaming up with 2 private companies to conduct deep space missions from here in Florida at the Kennedy Space Center. And coconut oil seems to be the ideal product for pretty much everything these days, but new research is suggesting otherwise. We'll have the details coming up in Health Smart.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Attention Sarasota and surrounding cities. After 25 years in Sarasota, Bacon's Furniture and Design will be moving to create Southwest Florida's largest and most dynamic furniture store. We must liquidate everything in the store at huge savings as fast as possible. Do not miss this opportunity to purchase quality sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, patio furniture, mattresses, and more. All at the absolute lowest prices possible. The Bacon's Furniture and Design relocation sell-off. Nobody beats Bacon's.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking an account executive to join our winning sales team. This is an outside sales position covering the Tampa DMA. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply. ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast. Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
And we're on our way to cracking that 90 mark at 87 degrees currently with a lot of sunshine out there. We also have a dew point that again today is going to be very high, making it feel very humid outside. And of course, that is partly because of a westerly wind, but it's also because of the evaporation of all the standing water out there. I mean, it's just leading to very high surface dew points. 77 degrees current dew point value. West-southwest wind coming in lightly at about 7, temperatures across the region. All pretty uniform, though we've got slightly cooler temperatures near the coast right now. 88 degrees in Venice, 85 Longboat Key, 87 in Inglewood. But you get into the near 90-degree range pretty quickly. 87 degrees Lakewood Ranch, Parrish, Myakka at 88, 89 degrees in Arcadia, 88 in Wauchula. And we got some 90s along the spine of the state now. So we are headed to a warm afternoon. And probably a rain-free couple of days, I think, or at least very, very isolated brief showers, nothing really heavy. There's what could have become a tropical cyclone. It was called Potential Tropical Cyclone 10, and it's now moving out of here. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Of course, Harvey just, again, slowly creeping northward, inundating parts of Louisiana. Port Arthur now is just seeing major flooding, and that was an evacuation location, so that is a horrible situation there. This storm system, actually in a sort of roundabout way, could influence our weather pattern as we head into the weekend. I'll talk about that in just a second, but you can see this kind of trough of low pressure that extends down from the storm. We'll talk about how that could play into our weather. Right now, everything's pretty quiet. We've got one little brief shower had earlier in parts of Hillsborough County, but that's about it. What you see here, this tan colorization from the new GOES satellites, that is dry air, and it blankets the peninsula. So very little chance of seeing any rainfall with that kind of dry air in place. Now here's what's going to happen. This trough of low pressure that kind of extends outward from Harvey continues to lift northward. As Harvey lifts northward, it's going to encounter a cold front to the north sinking southward. And that's going to wrap that cold front into this system. It's going to become extra tropical, lose its tropical characteristics. And that little trough of low pressure will be replaced by a cold front that will gradually be pushed in this direction as we head into Saturday. That's going to boost our rain chances and provide us the potential, perhaps, of some stronger storms with potentially some heavy rain as we moisten up our atmosphere beginning on Friday. So we'll see. A couple of days to dry out, but we'll be watching that scenario carefully. Mostly sunny skies for us, hot afternoon, and then rain showers this weekend. Take a look at the tropics. We're watching this area. Hurricane Center gives us a 90% chance of development. Forecast models right now from the Hurricane Center take this system and shoot it in a westward direction. I mean, that's pretty clear that that's going to happen over the next 5 days, this general westward motion. But watch one of the European models, what it does with this system with time. Now, granted, we're looking at about 10 days out here, but nevertheless, this takes it to a very strong, actually, hurricane as it moves towards the Leeward and Windward Islands. So, obviously, a computer model 10 days out is going to have major errors in it. But with this kind of a scenario, it bears watching. Not this weekend, but next weekend is going to be a very interesting scenario, possibly. So we'll keep an eye on it and advise you to do the same, especially by midweek next week. Know where that system is and what's happening with it. So, little chance of rain for a couple of days. Then the rain chances spike again over the Labor Day weekend. Back to you, Scott.
John, thank you. In health news, laser pointers may seem tiny and harmless, but they can cause some serious damage to our eyes. Lasers can damage the retina, which is a layer located in the back of the eyeball that has light-sensitive cells that send light to the brain to form an image. If it's burned, there could be permanent damage. Lasers are particularly dangerous because they concentrate light into a narrow beam, which makes it very strong.
It focuses the light on the most sensitive part of the eyes, and those lasers then can cause damage because of the fact that it's focusing the light on the most sensitive part, which is the fovea or the macula, where you see from the majority of your time period.
Airline pilots sometimes encounter people on the ground shining laser pointers into the cockpits of their planes. The severity of damage depends on how long the eye was exposed to the laser. A warning from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention about turtles. According to the CDC, turtles are at the heart of a multi-state outbreak of salmonella. Since March, there have been 37 cases in 13 states. 12 of the cases involve children 5 or younger. Turtles can carry salmonella bacteria on their skin or shells, but the bacteria does not make them ill. Reptiles are responsible, though, for more than 70,000 cases of salmonella each year. Some marketing campaigns make coconut oil seem like a health elixir, but new research is challenging that claim. A recent report from the American Heart Association is advising people to use coconut oil and other vegetable oils in moderation. Coconut oil is 82% saturated fat, and bad fats can raise your LDL cholesterol levels and potentially lead to serious health problems.
It basically has more fat in it than lard or butter. Once you raise your LDL, you put yourself at risk for heart disease.
Coconut oil is typically used as an aid for everything from skin ailments to brittle hair and weight loss. Health experts are also advising people to cut back on eating vegetable oils as well. Time to get back over to the kitchen and check in again with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Judy?
Well, Scott, I'm really glad. I'm a big fan of olive oil, which I think is that Mediterranean diet. It's good for your skin. It's good for everything. Good for flavor. So Labor Day is coming, and I have all sorts of tips and really great sheets that you can pick up over at Fresh Market, from setting up your cocktail bar to little cookies and things like that. And we're making lamb chops today, marinated, little maple syrup, garlic, thyme, and lemon. Just going to simply grill them, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to do some sides. Labor Day, we shouldn't be working. We should be enjoying our time, whether it's at sunset or whether it's having a pool party and friends gathered. So stay with me throughout the hour. I'm going to show you how to make the marinade. The first lamb chops are grilling with the lemon, and I think it's going to be a great end of the summer feast.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free with no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage, at no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 1-800-620-2254. That's 1-800-620-2254.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. It's a midweek roundup of some of our favorite summer moments, including Daredevil Bello Knock, Ladies Arm Wrestlers, and JR's Packing House Cafe.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
Start your day with Ray, Jacqueline, and John, the new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott's appeal of his 6-game suspension going into a second day of hearings. The suspension comes after it was revealed he was physically abusive towards his ex-girlfriend last year. Video also surfaced of him pulling down a woman's shirt during a St. Patrick's Day parade, but the NFL did not consider that in the ban. Instead, they indicated a pattern of poor behavior. Elliott made his only appearance of the preseason last weekend. Hurricane Harvey forcing the Astros and Rangers to take their 3-game series to St. Petersburg while the Rays are on the road. Texas easily taking the opener over a distracted and hurting Houston team 12-2. The Rays are donating all of the proceeds from ticket sales, concessions, and parking from the series to relief efforts in Texas. Tickets for last night's game, by the way, were just $10, and about 3,500 fans attended. Meantime, the Rays in Kansas City again last night. The Royals finally ending a 45-inning scoreless streak. Now it's 4+ games with a Whit Merrifield home run. Kansas City going on to beat the Rays 6-2. Rays starter Alex Cobb gave up a run on 3 singles and 3 wild pitches in the 4th inning. He had a tough night. The Royals beat the Rays 6-2. Same 2 teams meet again tonight in Kansas City. Just 2 Suncoast teams ranked among the top 10 in the state of Florida in high school football. In Class 7A, the Venice Indians remain 3rd after last week's win in Georgia. And Braden River moves up a spot to number 4 after beating a team from Colorado last week in Orlando. Venice will host Riverview on Friday, and the Pirates will take on Clearwater at home. We have one more sports note to tell you about. The NFL has canceled tomorrow's game in Dallas between the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys, so that the Houston players and staff can get back to Houston and meet with their families and attend to the tragedy that has happened there. Let's get back to the kitchen now with Chef Judy putting together maple marinated lamb chops today. Sounds delicious.
That's right, lots of flavor, and when it all goes on the grill or the griddle pan, all the flavors marry, which is really great. So let's get started with the marinade. Using that high quality olive oil, about 2/3 to a cup of olive oil. Now we're gonna go real heavy on the garlic. I love the garlic when we're cooking with lamb. So I have about 10 cloves. And then I'm gonna do about 1/3 of a cup of fresh lemon juice. Now whenever a marinade calls for the citrus, I just drop that in as well. It's gonna be perfect. We're gonna take some sprigs of thyme, and you're always pulling in the opposite direction to get that thyme off. We're going to save some sprigs from the packet because we're going to use that as garnish, and we're just going to top it on everything. So we're going to give that a really good stir. We're going to do some salt and pepper, and always the coarse salt, kosher salt, sea salt, fresh ground black pepper, and then the maple syrup. And the maple syrup is not going to be too sweet when you balance it out because you have the citrus, the acid from the lemon. So we're going to do about 1/3 of a cup, and make sure you're using the pure maple syrup. Never use the imitation. So this is basically, how easy is that? Anybody can do that, right? That's the marinade. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the lamb chops. If you're buying the whole rack of lamb, you can just cut them 1 to 2 depending on how thick you like them. My family likes them thick, but it's really easier if you're going to be sitting at the beach to have them individual chops. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pour that marinade in the infamous Ziploc bags. I use these for just about any type of marinating. You can let that sit out on the counter for about an hour at room temperature, or if you want to marinate it for 4 hours, it goes in the refrigerator, and then it's going to have to sit back out to get to room temperature. Here we have some right here, and we're going to put it on the griddle pan and get that started. Medium-high temperature. Now you're going to get a little caramelization from the maple syrup, which I think is fantastic. Normally I don't think of maple until we get into the autumn, but this is going to be so delicious. We come back and show you how to grill the corn to get that excess flavor. We'll garnish the lamb and we will get some other goodies going on. I'll be back in just a few minutes to keep grilling for Labor Day.
Discover all the reasons the experts love Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Nobody beats Subaru in service quality, vehicle quality, and overall quality. And ALG named Subaru the 2017 top brand for residual value. Right now, lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month, or get 0% financing. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch Hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Topping our half hour, Tropical Storm Harvey making another landfall overnight near the Texas-Louisiana border. New Orleans getting plenty of rain so far from Harvey, but schools and government buildings are reopening today. The city's mayor says he's grateful for the outcome since around this time 12 years ago, they were being devastated by Hurricane Katrina, and he has a message for the people of Houston.
But this is a long haul for Houston. It took New Orleans a long time to come back. The good news is that you're going to come back better and stronger. There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
The mayor is also planning to have businesses reopen for the rest of the week, and they're still planning to host LSU and BYU at the Superdome on Sunday. Those who were impacted by Harvey in Texas are expected to pay big in damages. Insurance experts say that only a small percentage of those in Harvey's path had flood insurance. This means they will have to pay their own recovery costs. Homeowners insurance typically covers damage from winds, but not floods. For that, you need that separate coverage from the federally run National Flood Insurance Program. It's required for homeowners with federally backed mortgages who live in the most vulnerable areas or special flood zone hazards, but much of Houston is outside those zones, so many homeowners decided to forego that coverage. And in the middle of the devastation in Texas, there are reports of price gouging. Best Buy is apologizing after being accused of posting a photo of a case of water for $42. Best Buy officials say the company doesn't even sell cases of water. Meanwhile, Best Western in Corpus Christi is refunding 40 guests after it was accused of nearly tripling room rates there. Officials are now laying down the law for price gouging in Texas. Offenders can face fines up to $20,000 per offense and up to $250,000 if the victim is 65 or older. There are so many remarkable rescue stories coming out of Texas this week. Hometown heroes are braving the floodwaters in everything from boats to big rigs and even jet skis. ABC's Rob Marciano caught up with a few of them and has more.
All these boats you see here, just family boats, regular civilians that came down with their trucks.
They are everyday heroes, traveling from near and far to help the victims of Hurricane Harvey. People like Nick Sheridan, who sprang into action immediately after seeing the devastating toll caused by the storm.
I'd say 5, maybe 6 feet deep.
Driving nearly 200 miles with his big rig to help rescue those stranded in the floodwaters.
They'll just keep bringing boatloads of people out to the truck. We'll load them up and we'll get them out of the area.
Nick, with the help of 2 other truck drivers, rescuing more than 1,000 people and counting. Local members of the community, like realtor Stephanie Fry, stepping up to help too.
People walking down the streets with backpacks, trash bags of clothes, and babies on their backs. It's really hard for everybody right now.
Fry offering up her own apartment to families who needed a place to stay.
Call me, text me if you'll need anything. I will. I really need that. I'm right down the streets. I'm right here for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Then there's Team Rubicon, a nonprofit composed of a group of military veterans.
What are the risks involved here? Lack of information I'm worried about, and lack of communication I'm worried about, because it's getting ready to rise, and these people don't want to leave their homes.
I was there when they came across a family of 7 who needed help, one by one, brought to safety by the team.
Whew. The emotion there is just palpable. I'm glad Team Rubicon's here to help them out.
Rob Marciano reporting there. You can be a hero here at home. Several Moe's Southwest Grill restaurants are donating $1 to hurricane victims for every burrito it sells throughout the day. The Moe's in Northport and Port Charlotte are taking part. Money goes toward Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. All right, meteorologist John Scalzi is back with First Alert weather and all that's going on there.
What you see in Port Arthur is just terrifying right now. Again, they got 26 inches of rain in one day.
Oh my God.
One day, and places that were designated shelters in Port Arthur are now being evacuated. So it's a rough situation. Plus, we have a new tropical storm out in the Atlantic. The one we were just talking about is now Irma, and it bears watching in the days ahead as we get into next week. I think it's going to become an important storm for at least part of the Caribbean. We know that for sure. But, we'll have to keep an eye on it for the U.S. as well and the state of Florida. Vanaway's webcam put into motion shows lots of blue sky out there. That's what we've got in store for you today. A lot of blue sky. Little in the way of any kind of rain chance, but high humidity and plenty of sunshine will lead to a few fair weather clouds. That's about it. Maybe about a 10% chance of an isolated shower in inland areas. I don't think we'll see much more than that. Trough low pressure extending from Harvey could be a player in weekend weather, but for today, not so much. Or tomorrow, really. Daytime highs topping out in the low to mid 90s. We'll have the complete forecast in just a minute. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In Tampa, 2 men are being sent to federal prison for setting a wooden cross on fire in an interracial couple's yard. A judge sentencing 46-year-old Thomas Sigler to 2 years and 9 months behind bars, 56-year-old William Dennis to 1 year and 9 months. Back in 2012, the men were living in a predominantly white community in Pasco County when a white woman and a black man moved into the neighborhood. That's when they decided to burn a cross in their yard. Cross burnings are historically used by hate groups. Both men pleaded guilty to civil rights violations. In South Florida, a commission meeting is taking place this afternoon to vote on whether to rename streets that are named after Confederate generals. Robert E. Lee, Nathan Bedford Forrest, and John Bell Hood all have streets named after them in Fort Lauderdale. Forrest, by the way, was a founder of the Ku Klux Klan. Commissioners gave preliminary approval to the change by a 5-2 vote last month. Supporters of the change say the city should not honor military officers who fought against the U.S., and opponents say the 3 were honorable men who fought bravely and that removing their names would be erasing history. New threats from North Korea are prompting President Trump to respond with more tough talk. After its military fired a missile over Japan, North Korea is now warning there may be more missile launches into the Pacific Ocean. ABC's Elizabeth Hur has more.
North Korean state television showing new video overnight claiming this is the ballistic missile fired over Japanese airspace Tuesday. Pyongyang also releasing new pictures, including this one of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un smiling, watching the latest launch. The state news agency later reporting Kim calling the launch a meaningful prelude to containing the U.S. territory of Guam, saying the country needs to conduct more ballistic missile tests to the Pacific.
The United States will not allow their lawlessness to continue, and the rest of the world is with us.
UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, speaking after an emergency UN Security Council meeting on North Korea, is now vowing a tougher global response. This week's missile flew some 1,600 miles and crossed over the Japanese island of Hokkaido before crashing into the sea, leaving Japan on high alert and prompting South Korea and the U.S. to respond with bombing drills. President Trump initially reacted, only saying in a statement all options are on the table. Then this morning suggesting that negotiating with Kim Jong-un will not work, tweeting, "The U.S. has been talking to North Korea and paying them extortion money for 25 years. Talking is not the answer." But in an apparent contradiction to the president's tweet, Secretary of Defense James Mattis just told reporters today work is continuing for a peaceful resolution. Elizabeth Hur, ABC News, New York.
Better late than never for Sean Spicer. The former White House press secretary finally gets the opportunity to meet Pope Francis. He'll be attending a meeting with the Pope this Sunday in Italy with a group of legislators and other politicians. Spicer is a devout Catholic, and he says meeting the Pope was one of his bucket list items that he wanted to check off during his tenure as press secretary, but he had been left off a list of White House officials who had the chance to meet with the Pope in May when President Trump visited the Vatican. Spicer resigned from the administration last month. New this afternoon, a possible new space race for NASA. For the first time since the retirement of the space shuttle in 2011, NASA says it may soon have the capability to send astronauts to the International Space Station from U.S. soil. Boeing and SpaceX, the space agency's commercial crew partners, are building spacecrafts that will send astronauts to the space station and eventually into deep space. The public-private partnership will develop the Kennedy Space Center into a multi-user spaceport with a launch system and spacecrafts. SpaceX's first flight test is scheduled for February, and Boeing's has one set for June. Both must demonstrate their systems are ready to begin regular flights to the space station. Back to the kitchen now and see how lunch is coming along with culinary director Judy Gallagher. Judy?
Well, it is almost done. We have those beautiful maple marinated lamb chops, and I forgot I added just a pinch of crushed red pepper into that marinade, bring up the spice level. Now it's time to save the labor for Labor Day weekend. I bought some vegetable kebabs. They have some that come with pineapple or portobello mushrooms over at the Fresh Market. Brilliant idea to save time and money. You can put some chicken on the grill. I love kebabs. I don't like to mix the protein with the vegetables because they cook at different temperatures. And often pieces of chicken, you have to be a little bit careful if it's cooked all the way through. If you're making hot dogs and hamburgers, up your game. Brioche hamburger buns. They're buttery. They're those French delicious rolls. That's a really great way to make a hamburger or a cheeseburger into a whole nother level. And then Scott Dennis and I were just talking about these Tate's chocolate chip cookies. If you're going to a party, this is the perfect thing to bring, honest. And they now have the little individual baggies. So what I love are the little mini baggies for children. That's going to be really fun. They do have gluten-free, but I have to tell you, I cannot make chocolate chip cookies any better, and I don't want to turn the oven on, so this is a great tip. Chris, you want to have some fruit salad, and you might be having cocktails. In sticking with the maple theme that we have for the lamb, there are some great new mixers that you're going to find in upscale grocery stores. This craft mixer is a maple whiskey sour. All you have to do is take the mixer with your whiskey, or for me, I switch it around and do a little bourbon, zest of orange, and you have a great cocktail. There's elderflower and rosé lemonade. Really light. You might want to blend it. You know, frosé is really big around town, those frozen rosés. If you're not too big of a fan of straight rosé, this is a great little slushy drink that you can serve. And of course, nowadays they have all these different grapefruit hibiscus cocktail mixer. You can take a little gin, freeze up some grapefruit juice in your ice cube containers, and that's going to make a great cocktail. So I think we have all our bases covered. Now we can just get ready to serve the lamb. You know, serving it on a platter is really nice because it really looks like you fussed. You don't need to tell anybody that I sent you over to the fresh market to get these kebabs, but they're going to be delicious. A little grilled corn that I've already brushed with a little of the salt and pepper and a pinch of the red pepper just to give it a bite. And we're going to put the platter together, and John Scalzi is going to tuck in soon. Stay with me. It'll be time for a taste in just a few minutes.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-671-4817. ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
87 degrees the air temperature, a lot of sunshine out there. Dew point high at 77, and it's going to feel very sticky throughout the day today. We have a west wind coming in at about 7. That doesn't help matters. And of course, all the sunshine evaporating the standing water around, which is a good thing, is aiding in producing all of the humidity around as well. By the way, just a recommendation, you might want to go out there and kind of police your yard. I mentioned this yesterday, I believe, that go around your yard, and if there's any standing water in containers or vessels around the yard, you might empty that out for the mosquito problem that I'm sure will start to develop in the days ahead. 90 in Wauchula and Arcadia, we've hit the 90 mark. 89 in Myakka, 88 in Lakewood Ranch Parish at 88, Bradenton at 88, and along the coastline about the same. Harvey continues on a track that slowly lifts it northward through Louisiana and eventually into the Ohio Valley, exiting out in the northeast by the time we get to the weekend. It will, of course, become extra tropical and not much more than just an open low-pressure area as we progress through time. And it could help bring a cold front our way as we head into the weekend. Heavy rain now falling really all through Louisiana and even parts of the Florida Panhandle seeing a little bit of heavier rainfall. For us, not so much. Dry air in place means for an absolutely beautiful couple of days. All that dry air visible here is this kind of tan contour lifting, or rather colorization, lifting north through the state of Florida. So as we look at the surface map, you'll notice kind of a frontal boundary stalled out here. This low pressure area, Harvey, will lift north. It will tap into some cooler air sinking south as another cold front and help draw that cold front closer to the state of Florida by the time we hit the weekend. That means a much better rain chance as we head into the weekend. We'll look for sunny skies and then the return of rains this weekend that could produce at times some heavy rainfall as that front approaches. And we'll be watching very carefully the tropics next week as we have a newly formed storm. It's now designated Irma. It is a tropical storm, and in fact, it has significant winds, 50-mile-an-hour winds as of 11 o'clock this morning. Movement to the west at about 13 is a pretty good clip. It's forecast by some computer models to become a major storm with time. But certainly over the short term, it continues on a westward passage and then kind of maybe even jogs a little bit down to the south toward the islands on Monday at about 8 o'clock. It'll be located there. Still a good distance from us, about 3,000 miles currently, actually. It has a lot of time to travel over these waters. And by the time it gets to the Caribbean, by about this location on Monday, it could start some rapid intensification. This computer model, the European computer model, shows it moving westward and developing into a Category 3 or 4 storm possibly by the time it gets to the Windward or Leeward Islands. So it's something definitely we're going to have to keep our eye on and watch, particularly the forecast for this storm after this Labor Day weekend and as we head into midweek next week. Very important to know what's going on with Irma and what will become of it. That's a name we'll want to remember next week. As far as our forecast goes, about a 50 to 60% chance of storms this weekend. Before that, a lot of blue sky out there. And then as we head into the beginning of next week, we'll get back to that kind of average summertime weather. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. It's been said life is what you make it. And this week's amazing Suncoast woman certainly agrees with that. ABC 7's Linda Carson shares her story.
Mary Som is not ashamed to admit she'll soon turn 90.
Maybe it's because I don't feel that. I don't feel any different than I did 10 or 20 years ago.
She gets up at 5 a.m. every day, does water aerobics, and then...
From November till April, I play golf 3 times a week, play tennis a couple times a week. Sunday, I go to church. And we try to do exercise at night, like we walk all 3 parks.
She was born on a farm in Oneida, New York, the daughter of Italian immigrants.
I was the youngest of 11 children. And the funny part was, when my mother was pregnant for me, she was 48 years old.
Growing up, kids bullied her.
They'd come there and say, well, that must be your grandmother. And I said, no, it's my mother. I said, I've got 10 brothers and sisters. I said, that's why she looks old.
Her mother taught her how to deal with the bullies.
She said, never be ashamed of what you are. Always stand up for what you believe. Don't ever put yourself down.
She still remembers her mother's words.
You got to have faith. Like you say, giusta morte non si repara. Only death is not repairable. Everything else, you can, it takes time, but deal with it.
Mary had a great career.
I was a medical assistant, X-ray tech, for over 30 years.
When she retired, she went to work for the Oneida Silver Company, wrapping silverware.
When I worked for the doctors, I made $200 a week, which was very good money back then. But I went to work for Oneida Limited. I wore blue jeans and a sweatshirt, and I made between $500 and $600 a week.
She and her husband had 2 children. Their son was killed in a traffic accident. In 1987, they moved to Florida, and they had been married 67 years when he passed away. But Mary keeps going, and she enjoys every single day.
Why not? I mean, I got a roof over my head, I got food on the table, and I'm not a millionaire with money, but I'm a millionaire because I got my health.
Her daughter Chris lives nearby, and she has 3 beautiful granddaughters. And her life lesson?
First of all, be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Everybody's different, but we're all special in our own way. And deal with what you have, and you'll make it.
Mary has a lot of friends here in Bradenton. She turns 90 on October 7th, and her daughter Chris is planning a huge birthday celebration not too long afterward. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Terrific story. Thank you so much, Linda. Coming up, a musical tribute to a storm-soaked city, and a British actor is getting an award named after an American film icon. Entertainment news is next.
Jacuzzi is proud to present our first ever safe bathing event. The Jacuzzi walk-in tub allows you or a loved one to take a safe and relaxing bath. Never climb in and out of a regular bathtub again. Our walk-in tub offers a low step-in threshold, fast drain technology, soothing hydrotherapy, and even a shower handle. Regain bathing independence with a Jacuzzi walk-in tub and enjoy spending more time with loved ones. Why wait any longer? During our safe bathing event, save $750 on a new walk-in tub. Receive $250 in safety upgrades and a $100 Visa gift card. But if you call right now during this program, we'll double the savings to $1,500, double the safety upgrades to $500, and double it to a $200 Visa gift card with your walk-in tub purchase. Call right now to save double on a new walk-in tub. Call now.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
I'm Alan Cohn. From sleeping in the park to dead in jail, do our local jails have the resources to treat inmates for mental health, drugs, and alcohol?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Oh, the corn is so good, and I can't wait to try the lamb. I love the lamb. It smells so good in here.
Good. You know, cook it no more than medium. Try to go medium rare. But what happens with that corn is I rolled the butter in the last 5 minutes. It grilled for about 15 minutes on the lower side. And then right before I take the lamb chops, the grilled lemon off, everything off, and I roll that corn. So you get that sweetness of the maple syrup and some garlic on it. And the best thing of all, easy recipe, it's all in presentation, folks. Use a big platter, a little couscous underneath, or you could use an orzo salad, and it looks like we worked all day, but
Seriously,
we didn't.
This is incredible. This is amazing. On our website, mysuncoast.com, click on the dining link page, and there you go.
And there
Thanks,
you go,
Judy.
John.
Awesome.
That's for you. Scott?
Thank you both. More and more celebrities are pledging their support to the victims of Hurricane Harvey. Sandra Bullock, Kevin Hart, Beyonce, the Kardashians, just some of the celebrities making donations, $1 million and up. Others are using social media. Katy Perry is urging her more than 100 million followers on Twitter to give what they can.
Of when I get back to Houston.
Coldplay is giving back with a song, the band writing and dedicating the song Houston to the people of Texas. The band had to postpone its scheduled show there last Friday because of the hurricane. They're now hoping they can perform the song in Houston when they return at a later date. Patrick Stewart is being honored. The British actor is receiving the Gregory Peck Award for Excellence in Cinema at the 16th Annual San Diego International Film Festival in October. Stewart will pick up his prize at the festival's Variety Night of the Stars tribute. And some big names at the 74th Annual Venice Film Festival. They include actors George Clooney. Matt Damon is there promoting a new sci-fi film or movie called Downsizing, which is the festival's opener. The Venice Film Fest kicks off today. Finally today, construction workers in Denver make a prehistoric discovery while building a new public safety building. The bones and skull of a triceratops were dug up at the site. Curators at a local museum believe the fossils could be at least 66 million years old. The recent find is one of 3 that had been found in the area. Triceratops had 2 big horns over its eyes and then a smaller nose horn. Most fossils found in the Denver area are bones of mammoths and camels from the Ice Age, roughly between 10,000 and 12,000 years ago. Wow. Pretty amazing.
Wow,
what
fascinating.
I'm glad they were able to save it, once it was found.
I love that. I hope they'll have it on display because I have relatives in Denver, so
there you go.
I'd like to go out and see
that. That is really, really neat. Yeah. So again, we have some clear skies out there, some beautiful weather today. I think over the weekend we'll probably see things moisten up just a little bit, and there's a potential for some heavier rainfall perhaps with a few of the thunderstorms that rumble through here on Saturday. And of course, next week, midweek, we are going to be watching the tropics very carefully as Irma makes its way closer to the Caribbean. Some computer models really build this into a major storm.
Okay, we'll watch it closely. Thank you, John. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. We'll see you again at 5.